There are three types of hereditary angioedema. The first one is type 1, which is caused by deficiency of C1 inhibitor. There are three types of hereditary angioedema. The first one is type 1, which is caused by deficiency of C1 inhibitor. Okay. The second one is caused by dysfunctional C1 inhibitor. The third one is not related to C1 inhibitor. It is due to mutation in factor 12. Yes, the factor involved in coagulation cascade, the factor 12 mutations are responsible for type 3. Type 1 is due to mutation in SERPIN G1 gene. So you might have heard of SERPIN very frequently in medicine. One SERPIN that you can easily recollect is what you see in patients with alpha-1 antitrypsin deficiency, where you see mutation in SERPIN A1 gene. Okay. So here it is SERPIN G1. SERPINs basically code for serine proteases, serine protease class of proteins or enzymes, and mutation in SERPIN G1 is responsible for type 1 hereditary angioedema. So this mutation is inherited as an autosomal dominant condition with full penetrance. That means it is passed on to every next generation of the offsprings. And third point you should remember about type 1 is this is the most common type of hereditary angioedema, and this accounts for more than 85% of all cases of hereditary angioedema. As I told you, the type 2 is because of dysfunctional C1 inhibitor. The mutation responsible for this is same, it involves the same SERPIN G1 gene. The difference between type 1 and type 2 is the type 1 mutations lead to quantitative defect. So in the sense, the amount of C1 inhibitor produced is low. On the other hand, in type 2, it is a qualitative defect where the amount of C1 inhibitor produced is normal, but functionally this is inefficient or dysfunctional. This is also inherited as an autosomal dominant condition with full penetrance. Though various modes of inheritance have been described with type 3, few authors have described X-linked dominant inheritance. Few have described recessive inheritance. And there are several studies documenting factor 12 mutations inherited as an autosomal dominant condition. Okay. But overall, all the three conditions or all the three types often have a strong family history, especially type 1 and type 2 because of a fully penetrant autosomal dominant mutations. When do we suspect that a patient presenting with repeated angioedema is actually having hereditary angioedema? The three important pointers in patients' physical examination and history which makes us strongly suspect the possibility of hereditary angioedema. The first one, okay, for any patient presenting with repeated episodes of angioedema, look for family history. In any patient with hereditary angioedema, the family history will be pretty strong because of the mutations which are fully penetrant. Second, these patients do not have pruritus or urticarial lesions. The absence of pruritus or urticarial lesions is typical of angioedema caused by bradykinin pathway. So there are two conditions where the bradykinin pathway is involved in development of angioedema. The first one is hereditary angioedema and the second one is ACE inhibitor induced angioedema. Then third important pointer for us to consider HAE is recurrent GI colics. So in the very beginning of the video, I told that these patients have a tendency to develop bowel wall edema also, and that bowel wall edema explains the recurrent GI colics that we see in these patients. A laboratory diagnosis is mainly by demonstration of either deficiency of C1 inhibitor or dysfunctional C1 inhibitor by catalytic inhibition assay. Okay, so for the dysfunctional C1 inhibitors, the demonstration is by catalytic inhibition assay.